G'day everyone, it's Annette here. Thanks for dropping by. In my video this week I'm showing you how you can make your own resin paste. Of course might be a lot of other different ways to do it, but this is how I do it. I'm also hoping to make a thin white resin paste that will be good for resin blooms. I had made up a paste of my own in the past, but I didn't follow any recipe. So now I found a lovely lady on YouTube, and I will link her channel, and she has a recipe for the bloom paste that I'm going to give a go. I have two types of white powder I can use to see which one works better than the other. So once I've made it all up, I'll give that a go on a different video. If you try this yourself, please take care of yourself and use all your PPE. You don't want any of these products down in your lungs. As most of you know, when you use your resin, there's always a little bit left over, either A or B. It's usually A that is left over, and I collect it up. I keep the same company together, I don't mix them, and I write on there whether they're very thin or medium viscosity or a thick viscosity. This one's thin, so it should be good for a bloom mix. And I've got little bottles that I've labelled already. I'm going to try it first with Olga from Epoxy Art on YouTube, and I'll link her channel down below with her recipe, which is 18 grams of powder to 25 grams of your resin. I've already put a couple of what do you call them, these things in there. The reason I prefer the part A is because it's got UV inhibitors in it. You usually get your B yellows a little bit because it doesn't have UV inhibitors. You can use the B, but use it for a dark colour like a black or a deep dark purple, something like that, that won't show the yellow. I have two types of titanium dioxide. This one is the Gamblin brand, which is artist grade. My other one is this. It's from Pure Supplies Company, titanium dioxide. And I've used this one a bit before. I've had it for about a year, and it's a bit grainier compared to what the Gamblin brand looks like. So I'll use a mortar and pestle and grind this one down a little bit. The Gamblin one looks much finer. I only use a white mortar and pestle when I use this, and then if I'm making up any other coloured pastes that I want to grind down, I'll use a different mortar and pestle. I have all my PPE on now, so I'm doing a voiceover for this bit, but I'm showing you how I'm mixing up the Pure Supplies Company one. I'll put it in the mortar and pestle, grind it, then I'll measure out some of the thin resin that's off to my left, and I'm going to do 50 grams of the resin and 36 grams of the powder. So I'll add the powder to the measured out resin, and I mix it really thoroughly. Then I'll pour it into my little dispenser bottle. I like those bottles with the screw top that allows just a drop at a time, so they're the ones that I prefer to use. With the Gamblin brand, I've done it the same, except I don't grind it down, so I didn't record it again. So yeah, 50 grams of resin, 36 grams of powder. Here's a pro tip for you. I have used a plastic measuring cup here. Don't do that. Use one of those paper ones that you can squeeze, because after I mixed it up I realised I couldn't pour it into the bottle, and I had to put it in a paper cup, as you saw, so I could squeeze the top edge and then pour it in my bottle. Once you put your lid back on, give it a really good shake. Also shake it before use each time. I finished mixing these up, and I've cleaned up everything with the isopropyl alcohol. It takes a little while, and yeah, so it's like it's sticky, it sticks everywhere. I ended up making a little bottle of this one, which is the Pure Supplies titanium dioxide. And I made up the Gamblin. I did it exactly the same way, except I didn't grind it. It looked fine enough, and with the ball bearings I think it'll mix in. At first glance I think this might be paler than the artist quality one, which probably makes sense. I will test them both. I might show you the end result. I'll just use the same resin, the same amounts, and see how I go. I also made up some paste for myself, which I'm going to try with some waves at some stage, and I'll clear this off and I'll show you what else I made. Made myself red bronze, which is this one. It's quite a pretty color. I like this one. It's beautiful. I did a deep copper. This one is silver. This one was a sample from this little piggy or TLP, and it's called Meteorite, which is a gorgeous goldy silvery color. This was from Artie Sue, which was oh no, sorry, it's a Kmart one. It was a Kmart Black Pearl. My apologies. And that's a gorgeous color too. This was a sample from TLP, and it was Aphrodite, I think. Yeah, so it's a pinky gold. I tried a bit from Artie Sue, which was a lime, because I don't have any greens. I don't have any reds either, so this was Brilliant Red, and this is a bit from Harry and Wilma that came in a sample, and then I bought some as well. And then TLP, it's a fluoro one. I don't know how it's going to go, because fluoros don't always mix in very well with resin, but I don't have any sort of really fiery oranges either, so that's what that is. It's Inferno. So that was just from like an hour and a bit's work with cleanup and everything. There you go. A great way to use up any of your samples that you have, or if you wanted a paste colour that you don't have but you've got a mica for. Some of these were actually micas that I really liked, but I didn't have them in a paste, so that was another reason to use them up. Of course, you're not wasting any of your leftover resin either, because you can use A or B, but as I said before, I usually use the A for my white or pale colours and my B for darker colours. Just like with your other paste though, I must tell you, you do have to give them a good stir before you use them, just in case they have separated. I often don't measure my coloured ones like I did with Olga's recipe for the white when I'm making them up, and that's because different companies might have more pigment in their mica powders than others. So using a set recipe for them doesn't always work. You might need more powder or less depending on the pigment content of your coloured powder. Anyway, if you give it a go, make sure you look after yourself PPE wise and have fun creating. Thanks for watching everybody. Have a good day. Bye.